the ultimate realities of things. In another hadith he says, Rabbi arini wujuh al-ashyai, oh my God, show me the real picture of things. So Sufism tries, it is an attempt to probe reality as it is. It doesn't rest content with phenomena, with appearances, with phenomenological world. But man is not merely the body. He has some fundamental, basic substance, essence, which we call ruh, or zat, or self, or ego. So, what is the science which studies that real essence of man?
Okay. So, Sufism is about, it's not about the body, it's about the soul, it's about the spirit, it's about the intuition.
Yes, about the permanent in man.
So, we will ask you how we can help the average person, or how we can help the Pakistani society overcome violence with the spiritual dimension. But before that, we have to go on a break. Welcome back, viewers. We are talking about countering terrorism through Sufism. And right now we have online with us a scholar, Dr. Suhail Umar, who is a director with the Iqbal Academy in Lahore. Dr. Suhail Umar, thank you for joining us from Lahore.
You're welcome.
We'd like to ask you, because your subject of study is Dr. Allama Iqbal, and he's sort of a spiritual father for our nation. What does he have to say on Sufism and how it can be integrated into the Pakistani society?
Well, first of all, one must remember that Iqbal's whole project, his whole thought and his works in Persian, Urdu and English are integrally related to not only the theoretical side of Sufism, but the overall Sufi ethos. And an authentic understanding of Iqbal, his Iqbalian project and his complete work is impossible without finding and understanding its links with Sufism, both on the theoretical side as well as on the practical side.
And what does he have to say on Sufism?
What he had to say on Sufism, first of all, let me give you his own words. That he says that my object of my Persian poems, and by large my poetry, is simply to discover a universal social construction. And my philosophy is a direct development out of the experience and speculation of old Muslim Sufis and thinkers. This is, I am quoting Iqbal directly.
So, Dr.
If Iqbal himself claims that his whole philosophy is a direct development out of the experience and speculation of old Muslim Sufis, one can well understand what his deeper connections and underlying ethos
how do we link
with relation to Sufism.
So, Dr. Suhail, how do we link that to the Pakistani society, which is struggling to cope with terrorism nowadays? How can we relate?
Exactly. Because Iqbal, throughout his Urdu, Persian works and English philosophical documents, has referred by name as well as by implication the basic Sufi worldview, which sees the hand of the Creator in the other, both the religious other, the cultural other, and in any way which is different from you, and recognizes the same spirituality, the same core human values, and the same core spirituality in the other. Once this perspective is cultivated, it automatically translates into attitudes, behaviors, and dealing patterns with the other, which is our basic problem at the moment. When Iqbal says that one's tongue with ill speech is a sin, the disbeliever and the believer are alike creatures of God. Humanity, human respect for human reality, be conscious of the station of humanity. The slave of love who takes his path from God becomes a loving friend of both disbeliever and believer. He is giving us a very potent message, Ehtarame Adamiyat, Ehtarame Admi, which we need very much at the moment.
Thank you very much, Dr. Suhail. Dr. Qalander, getting back to the topic. As Dr. Suhail said, that we need to alter behaviors in this society and inculcate an ethos of generosity and kindness. So how does an average person go on that path when he doesn't have any institution or any teacher or any source where he can learn that from, when we talk about Sufism in particular?
Well, there is no problem with the public people. If you study Pakistani society at large is involved in mystical commitments or engagements.
But they're not mainstream, are they?
They are mainstream, but they are what's it called? The problem is with elite class, the intelligentsia, the professor, the bureaucrats. But the common people, they like Sufism, mysticism.
But do common people always have the right source as a teacher? How do we know? Because they could be going to anybody else.
Yes, each and every, I think in Pakistani society, the people, they have tutors, spiritual tutors.
So we have a good amount of avenues open to us, we just need to go and explore them.
But we do not know them. Each and every, in each and every community, if you study them, sociologically, anthropologically, we have a bulk of people, they are linked with tutors.
Okay, now the interesting thing is that in our parliament we actually have a lot of politicians who are Gadi Nasheens or who are coming from who are coming from a Sufi lineage. And we had the Prime Minister talking about how Sufism should be used to quell angst in society. But what can the politicians do about it, do you think? They have the right background, they have the right access.
Well, the politician, they have a background, but they have not that
inclination,
philosophical linkage with Sufism, that intellectual. Unless and until a person is linked intellectually and spiritually and also existentially with Sufism, no change occurs. It is just a play with words. We are talking about Sufism, but we do not know its essence, its reality. Sufism, as a doctor told with reference to Iqbal, is a highly specialized field. Its inner core is not accessible to common people. When we talk about the theory of relativity, as propounded by Dr. Einstein, laymen can't understand it. Even a person with PhD in mathematics.
But it's taught in every school and it's a part of every curriculum. So when we study it again and again, eventually everyone starts understanding it.
But if we make mysticism a part of our curriculum with reference to our Pakistani mystics or the whole subcontinent, of course then by and large, as you said, then like theory of relativity, we can be acquainted, we may be acquainted with mysticism. But there is a lot of misunderstanding about mysticism. We say that it is just, it creates a kind of otherworldliness, it is opium. It's not like that. Allama Iqbal explained mystic reality and experience in 6 and 7 points in his famous book, Reconstruction of Religious Thought in Islam. The first point is that the immediacy of mystic experience, which means that we have knowledge of God exactly as we have knowledge of other things. The first point. The second is the unanalyzable wholeness of mystic experience, which brings the mystic into contact with the total passage of reality in which all the diverse of stimuli merge into one another and form a single